Hi everyone, and welcome to tonight's show, Beyond Galactic. I'm SOLRETA and I'm your host for tonight. And I have a few interesting things to share with you guys tonight. So we're going to get through them one by one. But before we get into that, I just want to share with you guys a few little posters and things that I have. And with the solar flares, we have had a little bit of a lag in the internet. I know my clients in the States have also got the lag too. So I just want to remind you guys to please jump on over and go like, share, and subscribe over on Beyond Mystic on the YouTube channel, which is the 003. And you can see there's a lot of interesting shows. And I just want to remind you guys as well that we also have 10% off consultations with me when you use the Beyond Mystic code in all caps. So head on over to consultations.beyondmystic.net. And I'm seeing some really, really fascinating things with you guys at the moment. There's a lot happening in terms of new ascension gifts and upgrades and different things that we're starting to see come in that we haven't seen before. Oh, hi, Carla. I can see a few familiar faces here. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been with me each week. And we've seen some really interesting things over the last couple of weeks with the energy of all of us coming together. We've had the UFOs show up in the backyard that we showed last week. We had the fairy videos from last week as well. And I did have some more visits this week from the fairies, although I need to find out a program or something. So if anyone does have any ideas on like what's really great for editing software to slow things down, as much as possible, I would love to get like frame by frame, because in the moment I'm editing in Canva and some other things. And yeah, so if anyone's got ideas on how to make it so I can see the fairies a little bit clearer, I would love that. And it's so lovely to see familiar faces. Thank you guys for joining me. I really do appreciate that. So let's have a look and get into this week. Let me just bear with me with the internet lag, guys. I can't help it. It's on plugin and everything. So what we have, this first video. So this is one of mine. And the reason that I wanted the 1st of January, 2018, and it was an exciting experience to happen for the start of that year. So I wanted to show you guys what an Abani looks like. So an Abani is what we sometimes refer to as like a biological. These are quite common in Italy. And this is why I'm actually sharing this with you guys as well. So I have a strange connection with with the Italian side of things as well. And I can just see so many beautiful souls. Thank you guys. So let's have a look and watch this video. And I'll just describe it as we go. So this was actually just in my front yard. You can see the power lines, you can see the gum trees, and this is in a 4K camera as well. So it is harder to, film something on such a blue background to zoom in. But what you can see is it looks to be a series of flashing sort of lights or shimmering type lights. Now, mind you, this is probably about the size of a car in the sky. So it's quite huge. It's not a weather balloon or anything like that. But you can see I have to kind of focus in on the power line to get the camera to focus and then go into the UFO. Our cameras are simply not made for, filming things like this. So yeah, you can see here, it's just hanging out around the front of the house. And the feeling that I do get with these sorts of things that happen is sometimes like a telepathic antenna type feel. So I know there's a few of you guys out there that have contact, and we talk about that there's a feeling around the top of your crown chakra or top of your head when you have this kind of feeling. So yeah, and you guys can see that they're, and you can also go and check this out as well. Like if you want to go back and pause it, or perhaps see it even clearer. The next one that I have to share with you guys is, let me just bring this one up. So this is one of my beautiful friends, Antonio, went down so we can see a little bit clearer. So we have actually had ones like this over my parents' house locally too. So these don't seem to be just native to Italy. So what you see with that little circle bit underneath, this part, when I had my sighting over here locally, the middle part would go visible, invisible. So it actually kind of looked like a donut type shape. So it was interesting words in translation when I was chatting with Antonio. So I went over there, I think it was possibly around July 2018. Or actually, no, it might have been February 2018. I'd have to back check and see what date I was there, but it was 2018. So I went over to film for Japanese TV in Italy. They flew me over to Sardinia in Cagliari, and we had an amazing UFO sighting there as well that has been put up on Japanese TV. It was on the Mystery Detectives. Let me know if you guys find a copy of it. I think it's since lost into the internet somewhere, but I've still got screenshots and things, and I do have it on a DVD that they gave me somewhere as well. So I have to see if I can get someone to upload that onto a modern day computer. But yeah, so with this, Antonio and I were talking about like the feeling when you have contact. And it was really interesting chatting with him because he says the same thing. So we're both talking Italian and English, and we're both describing, a feeling of like an antenna or contact of like family around our heads or crown chakra. So for me, it's sort of my head just kind of like looks up, or I just subconsciously or unconsciously look up and these things are there. With Antonio, it's quite the same. He has what I consider to be the best footage in the world, like hands down. He has the most amazing contact. Even when he lived in a small apartment and he had just the little bathroom skylight roof to film through, he would just hold his hand up with the camera and hold the camera, and the UFOs would literally go over where he could film. So his contact experience has been filmed in depth a lot by Jaime Maussan in Mexican TV. So I've also been on Mexican TV on International Skywatchers and been inducted into the International Skywatchers Hall of Fame, which was a huge, huge pleasure because they don't have many females into that International Skywatchers Hall of Fame. So they literally have a big building dedicated to talking about ETs, UFOs, things of this sort of nature. It is considered to be a bit more out in the open over there. Even the president talks about UFO contact. I remember there was one event in Mexico where they walked out of a meeting and there was UFOs in the sky. So things like this, you'll sort of see happening a little bit more and more. But yeah, when you have something like this flying over the top of you, it is just undeniable. And what was interesting for me was when I had my sighting that was exactly the same as this, it was at my family's place and we were having a barbecue, and my dad is an engineer. So he has a very logical mind. And as this UFO got closer and closer, my dad's like, oh, okay, that's not a weather balloon. It's not this, it's not that. And you can see it does kind of mess with people's brains a little bit when they're seeing things that they perhaps don't have a background or a reference for. So yeah, even engineers can get a little bit stumped by what they see. So I do have, this is a photo of my beautiful friend, Sante, and we also have Antonio as well. Both so lovely, really, really beautiful people, both very much like family people. So I'll talk a little bit about as well what led me to meet these guys. So this was actually, there was a dream that I had. So let me just click back onto this screen. So I actually had a dream. I think it was perhaps 2017. I had a dream, and in the dream, there was like a cobblestone street kind of square, and there was a roundabout. And I was having this weird picnic in the middle of the roundabout, in the middle of the street. And there was all these people, and I didn't realize the whole ins and outs, but I knew that I was in Italy. I knew that I was sitting with friends and they had like an ET kind of connection. So I do actually believe that like when we have ET or hybrid connections, or we're having contact in some ways, that heaven and earth will sometimes move to get us to come together in person. Hey, Jim, lovely to see you here. So yeah, with this, I also met Antonio and Sante in Milan, or as they call it, Milano. And I think I stayed at like a star something hotel. It was really cool. But yeah, Spirit did lead me into knowing that I was going to Italy a year beforehand. So when I received an invitation from Japanese TV, everything, expenses paid and things like that, to go to Italy to film for the Mystery Detectives. It was a huge surprise. So I took that advantage and jumped on another plane to Milan as well. So let me bring up some more photos and some more shares for you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to express that there is like a psychic connection between experiences. We do understand each other on a non, let me just delete some of these so that we've got some more bandwidth as well. So I also wanted to bring this one up because there is a huge telepathic connection with our ET contacts and ET origins as well. And with this beautiful Pleiadian, we can also get this sense or this feeling of not only other lifetimes that we may have had, but connections that we still have with other like ET contacts and that, or other guides that are working with us as well. So let me just also bring up this one. And you can probably see my computer's doing some verification. So I also made this little thing a couple of years ago. So it says there are two worlds now. Be the light that you know that you were born to be. So I just wanted to remind you guys that this is a huge part of what we're going through right now, is this separation between worlds. So with the fairy videos that I showed last week, someone pointed out that there seemed to be a cockatoo fly in on my Beyond Reality show. And it was around when we were sharing the card on the butterfly. When I went in to that point that someone said to check out, I actually saw something that's not a bird flying in the background. So our white birds, the cockatoos, are huge. They're like the size of a chicken almost. You see something a little bit smaller in this video very, very quickly. Now I have slowed this down and put it through Canva. If anyone has any tips on like slowing things down or wants to help with that side of things, yeah, it'd be great to get some cleaner videos. But let me just play this one. It'll come in right across near that bird bath. You'll see it. So let's just play this. And there's no sound with this because it comes out really weird and stretched. So just looking in near my shoulder, and you'll see like a white figure start to fly out in a minute, hopefully. Let me just pop this on. Sorry, guys, I know the internet's a bit laggy. So yeah, any moment you'll see something, there it is, fly right over the bird bar. So it seems to be semi-transparent like we had with the fairies the other week. So I'm just seeing if you guys can see it one more time. It's very quick. You can see it almost slips like through the trees. So I found that very interesting as well. It doesn't seem to have that normal, I guess, with things that are more on like a fourth dimensional or higher realm, you don't always have that same interference with physical objects as well. And I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for your beautiful comments and things. I would love to put everyone's comments up. But yeah, we will be definitely, this is such a great point. And I love that you're mentioning this. Thank you for that. I'm sorry, it might be a bit hard to pronounce your name. Galado. So yeah, in some of my videos, can I discuss steps on how we can prepare ourselves with direct contact? We definitely will probably even have a special like investigative type one. And if I can get like tech and things set up, I would love to perhaps even do like a live event or something like that. So I just want to read this to you guys. Very much my shows and what we put together for, each week is guided to me from spirit. So they literally let me know like what it is that we should be talking about. So this was actually an old photo that I took maybe a year or two ago, and it just all of a sudden popped up on my phone. So this was in a book called The Healing Power of Your Aura. Now, remember we were talking about with contact, and with the fairies and things that we've been seeing, with the UFOs that we've been seeing as well, that there's something energetically happening. And I also brought this up in the Beyond Reality episode I put out this week. So if you guys haven't watched that, there is a beautiful meditation that Spirit directed and guided us to that is helping build these subtle energetic life forces that we need to prepare for contact and also for this new age of Aquarius epoch that we've just entered into. So this very much lined up with it. So it says, for example, when electrons release photons, they release tiny packets of spirit material. Each each with its own flow of light and life force. Through the activities of life, atoms interact with each other in order to grow. As everything is in creation is evolving and functioning as designed, it is interesting to note that the complexity of the body is accomplished using only 4 types of atoms: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. As we souls evolve, we elevate the vibration of spirit life within the atoms of the body. Eventually, these atoms reach their own level of enlightenment, become more known as white atoms. These white atoms are extremely potent. These stories of saints, highly evolved souls whose bodies did not deteriorate as they pass directly, or it's a past direct result as an accelerated white atoms. In addition to the steady flow of divine light, atoms need a steady flow of renewing spirit substance, and to sustain their physical form, there is a constant inflow of new spiritual substance and an outflow of unenlightened spiritual substance particle. To handle all of the activity of light and substance, the physical atom needs help, which it gets from the etheric and astral counterparts. So see figure 4-3 for illustration on how this process works. So we have in the center the physical atom, and we see, I'm not sure if it's showing off to your left, guys, but it says 49 corresponding etheric atoms that feed spirit substance to physical form. And then we have on the end that little atom on the outer ring, and it says corresponding astral atoms that feed spiritual energy to the physical form. So we see there's an exchange of physical and spiritual energy between our physical body and the universe, and free energy as well. So it's a relationship of etheric and astral atoms to physical atoms. So in actuality, etheric and astral atoms surround the physical atom in the 3rd dimension. And that's why we're seeing fairies and things like that, is because more and more of this etheric and ethereal realms are being surrounded. So yeah, this was in the book, The Healing Power of Your Aura. So we're also going to get into in a little moment. I just want to see if there's anything, because we have so much to get through, if there's anything Spirit wants to give us in regards to like this whole atom side of things as well. Oh, and I'm just reading your comments. Hey guys, thank you for joining us. So yeah, I just popped up the name of the book. You might need to go back and pause it later, but I think it was The Healing Power of Your Aura. Yes, thank you, Laura. Thank you. So yeah, definitely check that one out. Let's have a look and see if Spirit's got any advice for us around connecting more. And I had a little bit of this come up in a session with a client yesterday too. So this is fascinating that Spirit is guiding us down this rabbit hole around how we can best, I guess, initiate this contact between like the astral and the etheric energy and the interface between our physical. So I've got 5 cards to have a look into. Let's see what we got. So what I actually get is a bit of light language come in, and I feel that this is an ethereal activation. And I'm actually starting to feel like an electricity course through me. They are showing me things like using crystals to help amplify, or to use as like conduits and things. So like Vogel crystals are huge in terms of like amplification. You can get like double terminated Vogel crystals too. What they're showing me is these things working as a source between both worlds. So to that question before, this would be like one of those ways that you're able to help connect. So I want to flip these cards over because we have a lot to get into. Interesting, we have my cards that represent like other worlds and things coming in. So we do see that there has been a blockage. A 9 of Swords energy is, in this energy is Mars and Gemini. So we see that there has been like what we would call like a spiritual war, or there's been a suppressing. What's fascinating is when we look into the traditional 9 of Swords, and it's a lady with her hands in the bed, and she's sitting there like in deep, deep depression or a dark night of the soul. In one of my favorite decks, it looks like a fog or a mist or a veil over her, and she could not see clearly. She could not see through that mist. So interesting, we have this. So there has been where we're being at a specific density. My next 2 cards, the 6 of Wands and 6 of Swords, for me, this represents like multiple timelines, multiple realities starting to intersect. The 6 of Wands for me represents that veil between worlds. I know traditionally it will have a different meaning in terms of journey and things. Spirit has specific cards that represent specific things to me in our ET fairy kind of connections, and to do with like the higher spiritual realm. So this is Mercury and Aquarius energy. This means higher things are downloading into our consciousness. And I always get shown this as like this subtle sense of being able to feel just into the reality just outside of us. So the next card we also see is oppression. Now, I wonder if this is some of the things that we're seeing sprayed in the sky and other different things that are perhaps, blocking us from seeing into these timelines, into these realities. And not only is it my mission with these shows to really kind of bring us into contact with these worlds, I literally feel this is the reason that I've been put on the planet. And I felt this very strong from a young age, defiantly so, And what we're seeing here is this is going to come in and really help with community. So we see 10 of coins. For me, we see that darkness or that veiled thick velvet curtain switch over and turn into gold. So we see with this as well, this is just a beautiful energy. For me, this is soul family coming together. And that's what we have here as well. And I see sound has heart is where it is, which is such a beautiful thing too. It definitely is connected to the heart, and our heart has other ethereal senses in that. So let's pop back up and continue on with my next part, because we're going to be talking about the ziggurat of which I know JC and the girls talked about on one of the Oracle shows as well. So let's get into talking about this, because I want to talk about visions that I've had around this too. So you can see here, this was actually on a Gaia newsletter, or like a little blog, and it says, what is the code of Namu? So we see here there's this Anunnaki ancient Sumerian picture, but where I will go down is it talks about Namu actually. So you see here the achievements. So it talks about him building the great ziggurat of and ziggurat literally means that it's kind of that step or square type pyramid. So we'll see a little bit more soon around this. And I will share with you as well with the video. Let me just see if there's anything else I wanted to show you guys on here. They really were one of the first races in the Sumerian culture to provide like laws and things as well. So we see here that this is perhaps like where we started to have kind of like rules or regulations, but it was more against protecting people. It was on not stealing. It was on not raping other men's wives and things like this. And it was on protecting the purity of virgins and things. So it does seem to have like a high energy to it in their laws and what they were talking about. This one was on ancient pages. So it talks about Nana, Mesopotamian moon god. So the reason that I came across this was spirit, and I'll just bring this back up. Spirit was actually getting me first when I got the target of looking at the ziggurat of Spirit said for me to look into the cards around this. And so the vision, let me just go back into the vision, because you can do that, by the way. You can like visualize and go back into a vision that you've seen. So I'll describe when I went to the front of the ziggurat of which is in Iraq, I should say. And this is, I think it was in the 90s, the US military also invaded here because they were seeking a Stargate. So it wasn't exactly oil and everything that we were told. It was literally for Stargate technology. And that's also what I saw when I did a little bit of the Vision Quest remote viewing session into it. So I'll just tell you step by step what I saw. So I started by seeing myself in the temple, and I was literally in another lifetime. It wasn't in modern day times being in the temple looking around. And I saw this beautiful illuminated, what I would say is like a torch light inside the temple, or kind of like a warm glow like that. And I felt that I was being led. I actually felt like this was a different lifetime that I was kind of viewing. And sometimes when we're visioning, we will also be having a look through someone else's eyes. And that's what I felt. I saw myself through what seemed to be like a young male initiate's eyes. And as I got further and further down this passage or hallway, what I saw was feeling guided to turn left. And I was being ushered by all these adults that were taller than me. And I felt that this was an initiation in preparation for becoming an adult. But what I saw when I turned the corner blew my mind, because I saw this blue, like watery energy that was like a ripple effect, like we see in the Stargate movies, around the corner. So I saw there was a Stargate inside this temple. And what I felt was my family preparing me for contact with our ancestors and relatives on the other side of this Stargate. So I felt that there was people that were waiting to receive me on the other side of this Stargate. I know I'm talking about, because I'm looking at it through my eyes. So what I also felt with this was like a big sense of like weight on my shoulders and a lot of expectations. So I do feel that who I was viewing this scene through was perhaps to be a potential king. What I also see as well, like with going through that veil or into the other world, was there was like a different kind of like knowing. It was like there was telepathic communication going on. It wasn't just the Stargate that was needed to be able to communicate with these beings through this portal or other world. What I did feel though was that they came through the Stargate or set it up into Earth to like set up a new, I guess, like a new city, a new planet, a new country. And I do feel that they had high hopes for that Sumerian culture to, I guess, like to be like a new home. The same as, I guess, like, you know, the way that we're currently seeing the world go, a lot of us would want to set up a Stargate too and change things. But I did feel that they had a very high, like regal code of conduct and connection. So let's have a look into this other one. I think that was all. Let me just check if there was any notes. Oh, I did also note down here that I saw, yeah, it was like a new Earth colony was what they were setting up to. So it felt very kind of, I guess, desolate compared to like where they were from. I also saw beings that were dressed in white robes that had like headdresses on. To me, they felt like priests. And I felt that like a lot of the information and things was around connecting with these priests. The other thing that I saw after that was I saw this energy of the moon. And I saw this bluey white milky energy, and I saw everyone kind of like worshiping this energy of the moon. So after doing this little psychic investigation, and I start to get online to see and find videos and pictures for you guys, I find out that the whole of that Sumerian culture and the ziggurat of was dedicated to the moon god Nana or Nana. So I found that really interesting because that was what I saw firsthand when I was doing that little psychic research investigation. Let me see if there was anything else. It was just this beautiful kind of like shining, watery type thing. I also saw like artifacts and different things around too. Let me see if there's anything else. Let's click in to bring back this little page. Oh, Lisa. Hey. So nice to see you here too. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's just really slow and laggy today. I will get someone to have a look at everything. Okay, hopefully this will click through. There we go. All right, so we can see here, it talks about Nana, the Mesopotamian moon god. And I just wanted to bring up this photo. So we see that he was the father of gods. And I'll just read. It says, God Nana's symbol was the bull, the result of the horizontal crescent of the waxing moon, appearing similar to the horns of the animal. He is depicted as a cylinder on seals as an old man with a flowing beard and crescent symbols. So it talks about here, there's a lot more information if you guys want to read about it, but it's the early dynastic gods list. So it says that reveals that the moon god Nana was extremely important to the pantheon. His name appears immediately after the four leading gods of Enlil, Inanna, and Enki. So we know that these are Anunnaki gods too. So we see here, and they were some of the founder or like scientist gods connected to Enki. So we see here this man on the throne with a beard appearing as sort of like an older man. We can see that moon crescent here as well. So this has got some writing next to it. And we know the Sumerians were also, you know, they had the cuneiform writing. So there's so much. I could have done like a whole show on this, but I just wanted to share with you guys some pictures and share my psychic impressions of visiting there, which is cool. And you guys can always do the same. I also wanted to give you so that we know what it looks this is just a yeah, sorry guys, it's just the internet here with this issues. I will switch over. I just want to show you guys quickly. And so the temple on top as well. So I'm just going to leave that there. And so that little temple on top, and let me just close down a few of these other ones so that we can hopefully get a little bit more bandwidth. And okay, so I'm just going to pop this down. And yeah, hopefully my sound is back again too. So yeah, with that temple, the bit on top was the part that was said to be the worship area, or the connection to the moon god, to Nana. And apparently like underneath was supposed to be like where the priests and things were. So I thought it was interesting, you know, seeing the visions of the priests and things and then going in and actually finding out that they had a particular section. Apparently that was also to protect people from floods and things. And all we can say is that some of it, you know, and I see Lavender as well talk about like ziggurats, so intriguing. So yeah, there is other ziggurats around the world too. So, you know, like the pyramids, and we will get into the pyramid side of things too. And I saw someone else have a comment around Ashiana Dean, and I would love to check out like if she's got information on that as well. That'd be really, really interesting. And thank you guys for your encouragement and love and support. I really do appreciate it. So let's have a look and we'll present this next video a little bit differently. I'm going to run it through a different way so that we can use the sound. All right. So we're going to step into, let me just see what one I've got next. All right. So this next one that we're going to have a look into, you should be able to hear the sound if I run it this way. We're going to start talking about Antarctica. And I think you guys in the States call it Antarctica. I can't say it the same way you guys say. Over here, we say Antarctica. So let's have a look. This was on Ancient Aliens, and it was the pyramids in Antarctica. So I really was feeling guided to have a look into this, and it's something I want to continue a journey on remote viewing. So when I did look into it, I also saw stargates there. And Spirit gave me something just this morning. So I've been like working to put all these together. So the sound should...
Actually man-made structures. How is such a thing even possible?
I'm just going to pause this and bring it back. Sorry, guys. One sec. All right. So I've got it back to the start. It just wasn't adding to my stage. So let's see if it'll work now. Fingers crossed. I can see something happening. It's just taking time. Okay, we can see that little tick over. So hopefully this is going to come up. Oh, and it doesn't seem to be coming up. In fact, everything seems to have paused. Okay, and it looks like I'm back. Okay, one sec, guys. It's just glitching out. I know Ben and I had this happen one time too. So I am on plug-in internet. Okay. Great, it's finally up. All right, let me play this for you. So you can see here that we have this pyramid shape, and that was what I was having visions around as well, was
recently photographed in Antarctica provide evidence of extraterrestrial visitation to our planet in the remote past. And if they are actually man-made structures, how is such a thing even possible in a place that has been buried beneath the ice for over 12 million years? According to ancient astronaut theorists, Antarctica may not have been a frozen continent for as long as mainstream scientists suggest. And they say proof can be found by examining a 500-year-old map depicting the continent without any ice.
okay. So that's up there on YouTube for you guys that want to check it out. Let me pop this down. And the other thing that I also had come up, because like Antarctica or Antarctica, depending on how you say it, is such a huge topic, I thought we will save some time to go into questions and things as well. Let me just see if there's, when I did look in, I did see heavy, what I call heavy psychic surveillance around. So I actually feel there's like, I guess, psychic energy in terms of like veiling and keeping things protected from little eyes that might be interested to have a look down there. So I found that interesting. Sometimes you'll see that on certain locations and different places. So yeah, I did sense and see like a Stargate there as well. I felt that these had been there since ancient times. And there's also pyramids everywhere. Like we have the pyramids here in Gympie in Australia. I've been to one here in Victoria, just outside of Melbourne. So yeah, we do have pyramids all over the earth. When we look at like a pyramid and how it conducts energy, it forms kind of like a grid. So we have this old ancient grid system all over the earth. What I also felt was this connection to like the outer ice wall and to other places as well. Thank you, Jebs. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So yeah, with this, we also have energy coming up to do with being suppressed and oppressed. And sometimes we will have like, when we want to talk about stuff like this, guys, we also will have like a harder time with tech. So this is why I really just commit and bear to it, even if it's like glitching out and things, because it's really important we talk about these sides of things. So I also wanted to talk to you guys about what Spirit shared with me this morning. I was just sitting here getting ready and Spirit's like golden compass number 2. And I'm like, what? And they're like golden compass 2. And so I typed it in. And I did remember with my kids many, many years ago that we watched Golden Compass. So I looked it up and apparently the number 2 was never made. So there was a movie with Nicole Kidman and there was what they had like little spirit animals. And with these spirit animals, they referred to them as devils, which I thought was quite weird. There was a main character called Lyra and she was gifted this golden compass that had magical abilities. I haven't watched it for a long time, so I would need to rewatch it. But I typed in Golden Compass 2 and I found the trailer for you guys. And let's play this. And then I will talk about the gematria of why I think Spirit was pointing this out. And I do feel that this has a connection to a lot of the Antarctic stuff that we're looking into as well. I think that's why Spirit was trying to put us onto this direction. So let's see. This is called His Dark Materials, and I think this was on HBO. I'm not sure what it's on in Australia. I would have to go and check. Let me see. Bring this back up. It's just taking a little bit to actually bring up my slide. Let's add this and hopefully, fingers crossed. Looks like it's working this time. Thank you everyone for holding up a little bit of the psychic barrier to keep the tech working. Yeah, Debs is saying Nicole Kidman played the evil one. And let me just see. We should be able to play it now.
12 months ago, and this is the first of the discoveries I made. A myriad of worlds, of which the Magisterium controls only one.
For centuries, they have been trying to keep us where they want us, on our knees.
You promised the Magisterium you'd control Asriel.
Then we'll need to take the matter into our own hands.
Lyra, there's a great change coming that will threaten us all. I'm going to give you something.
What does it do?
It has a part to play in all this. And a major one.
Tell me where the alethiometer is. I will destroy all of this.
We represent a number of families who have lost children. This is war.
I think this can help.
She can read the alethiometer. She will be more valuable to us than any soldier we have. We'll get our children back. You may have a heart, but the Magisterium have a muscle.
What else do we need to fight them?
Has anyone seen a bear? It's a good bear. Won't have any trouble.
Witches have known of the other worlds for thousands of years. Asriel is bringing a great war.
Then I hope I'm strong enough. What Asriel needs to die.
Lyra, now's the time to choose a side.
There are things. Such things.
Why am I so important to her?
Once the path sees the possibilities. No more repression.
Please don't hurt me.
No more abuse. No more darkness.
The fate of more than this world depends on her.
Things in that, guys, wasn't there? So we see the connection to the animals as being sort of like a spiritual connection. We see the main character is called Lyra. And with the name Lyra, and when we look into the star system Lyra as well, it's said to be one of these first origin stars into the Andromeda galaxy. So a lot of beings will incarnate first through Lyra as well. So I would love to just break down and do a whole decode on that show. And I saw someone pop up about Robert Sefford's Antarctica series or new show. I saw JC text me, I think it was through the night, that there was a new one too. I haven't watched it yet. So I really want to check that out. But let's look into the gematria of the exact words Spirit told me to look up. So I'll pop this back up. But yeah, it looks fascinating, doesn't it, guys? Okay, and here is my little gematria window. Should be appearing any second. Okay, finally. So I just entered, you can see here, I literally entered the words golden compass, and then I spelt out two, TWO. So when we come down here, we see some really interesting things. So it says there are no coincidences, true prophet of God. Gematria is the end of days message from God. Phoenix is born again, hidden in plain sight, signs, the eternal voice of the people. Hi God, I am Q, shattering the entire matrix. The fourth dimension, chosen messenger of God. So there's some really, really interesting things that come up when we type in golden compass number 2. Hidden instruction, complete dedication to God. The hidden sun, the veil is lifting. Numerical prophet, see subliminal message. So that was my indication that Spirit was giving me as well, that there's perhaps some hidden things in this. And preach to all nations, dead of Christ rise first. Yeah, there's just like really interesting things. Cue freedom, rise up, fight back, take back control of America. The undeniable proof that Americans come together. Let me see if there is something else. A true psychic ability. Jesus is the hidden Messiah. A transition to greatness of common people. Let me see. Yeah, it just goes on, like some really interesting ones. This one stood out to me. The storm is upon us, hidden messages. So I did feel that there was definitely a reason of why Spirit wanted me to look into this. And then there are no coincidences, put it all together. And you'll find as well, like in this, that says cryptocurrency, military intelligence, storm is coming, Phoenix rise up and restore America again. So I do feel that there is a reason on why Spirit wanted me to have a look into this actual movie. So really interesting gematria connections. It didn't so much come up when I typed in golden compass just by itself. It was something around golden compass too. So I'm definitely going to be checking out this series. Fascinating. The other thing I wanted to mention was, did you guys notice the airships in that series as well? It looked like that there was Tartarian days. So a lot of the, the compass and other things really had like a Tartaria type look to it. So I want to make sure that we've got time. I'll just check my notes if there was anything else. So maybe let's have a look into questions. I wanted to make sure we had time to do that. And I will just collapse some windows. So if anyone's got, that's what I felt, Laura. Spirit is giving us hope. And, the link for the movie, I would have to go back. But if you type in, it's the book series, and Deb said as well, it's a book series. So definitely if you type in Golden Compass book series, it's been made into what looks to be like episodes on HBO. It's been released, and I'm not sure here if it's on like Netflix or, things like that. I literally got this as last minute information from Spirit before coming into the show. So let's have a look and see. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Let's have a look and see if anyone's got some questions. Is there some interesting things that are coming up that are kind of related to like Beyond Galactic or Contact and things? Yeah, I can see like Laura talking about what's my take on Enlil versus Enki. So that would probably be like a huge show in itself. And I do have a really good friend who some of the native elders have actually talked about being the reincarnation of Enki. And there's a lot of things that match up. And this person is doing really good things for humanity too, in terms of spiritual frequency, vibration, and technology and things. But yeah, that would probably be something for like a whole nother show. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, please hit the likes as well. So what I'm thinking is let's maybe have a look into if there's any other messages as well. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It definitely, the Golden Compass too had what seems to be like some Q drops as well. So yeah, if you go onto the just type in gematria, and you'll come up with the little part where you can put your questions and things in as well. Okay. Yeah, that is a great question. Thank you. So let's have a look. We are on the full moon in Virgo as well. So perhaps let's have a look and see if there's anything that we can see Spirit giving us in terms of like how to approach this full moon in Virgo. What's interesting, I'm actually getting shown something different. They're showing me, I keep seeing this veil between world energy that we've been talking about. And I know this is a big part of my mission talking about this too. So you will find it probably comes up more from me. But when we look into the energy of Virgo and we look at it through more of like a Vedic approach, Virgo is our way that connects with psychic senses. So, like for example, my moon sign in Vedic is Virgo, and it's the sign of Hasta. And Hasta is the one who kind of like looks into the mysteries and goes beyond the veil and things. And our moon sign will be, kind of more what we are connected with in work when we look at it from a Vedic approach. So I do feel that it's actually telling us to look into the mysticism beyond the veil, why this moon is open, that there's a particular period of time, or like a vortex or a window open. We have had some huge, I think it was a 10 class solar flares going off yesterday too. I woke up to my clients telling me that had huge solar flares overnight as well. Oh, and happy birthday to your grandson, Laura. So let's have a look into the cards. I've got 6 cards here. I'm just going to feel into these. So they keep showing me portals, veils. The word openings is also coming from spirit. What I'm also seeing is like a vortex of energy being poured onto the earth. So there's some new kind of like infusion coming in. I feel this is more on like a galactic, but also like on a God level sense too. It's like we're open to a new kind of like higher vibrational energy that's hitting the earth. So if you guys can attune like your receptivity for that. So in your meditations, literally like receiving it down through your crown chakra, feeling this beautiful energy activate your chakras. They're showing me, I'm hearing like click, click, and then it's like everything locking into place. There's a new configuration to do with our light body that's happening as well. And I can see, Lavender, Sky Panther. So I'm just going to read your comments. So Ashiana Material, Stargate at A1, Bashar, Iraq. Also, there's been 12 primary universal stargates and 24 primary signet locations. I'm definitely going to have to check that out. I've seen some of her beautiful mandalas as well. So I would like to look more into that. So let's flip these cards over. And this is interesting energy. We definitely see portal stuff happening. And we see the click energy with the chakras as well. So let me just pop this. Oh, and I see Glenn Ken also talking about like solar flares as well hitting Canada. So the first card we have is 8 of Cups. This has been coming up to do with collective consciousness a lot lately. And we see it's Saturn, which is all about control, constriction. We see the sky actually looks kind of sprayed. It looks very stormy, very unnatural. We're having that a lot here in Australia, like huge storms and things that are not natural, to say the least. But we see here, it's kept these cups cut off from the spiritual aspect. And we're only getting like where we tune in and we're just kind of like in fight or flight. We're kept in fear. We're kept in like lower consciousness and things. I then see the 9 of Wands. So we're seeing there is that higher galactic connection coming in to break us through that mist, to break us through this frequency, this energy. So please, guys, that was such a great question around this Virgo full moon. We also have the Queen of Cups. So definitely be open, be receptive to receiving these higher downloads and frequencies that are coming in from some of the solar upgrades, some of the beautiful Schumann frequencies and things as well. What we also see here is she reflects it. So in being receptive and open to these frequencies and energies, we're actually changing this ethereal realm, and we're changing and bringing in new upgrades and new life force energy into this domain, but we need to focus it. So 8 of Wands, Mercury and Sagittarius energy, we need to actually give it direction. So it's not enough just to receive and kind of like gather this energy. We actually need to give it direction and plant these seeds. This is the one that I feel is connected to where they were showing about chakras. So letting it come in, feeling it cleanse and purify and activate all the chakras. With those of you that watch me regularly as well, you'll also know that this is also, for me, what Spirit gives me as like a bit of a quantum jump card. So when we get an 8 of Wands come up, this is my sign to quantum jump and to stop shooting my energy around, stop like focusing my attention on multiple things and putting out spot fires, but just step into high priestess energy, which is very similar to the Queen of Cups energy too. So it really is, we need to be, as Spirit was saying before, like with the crystals and things, crystal and focus on what we want to do with this energy, what it is that we want to achieve. And then we have Knight of Swords, which for me is actually speaking things into existence. So you might even say out loud, oh, thank you for the compliment. That's very sweet. So yeah, you may even want to say out loud, I now choose to activate these higher frequencies and energies. You may choose to activate your DNA and things as well. Yeah, that's what I'm getting on that. Let's get some clarifiers. I don't know if I've picked, yeah, let's get the Alice deck out. I feel like in an Alice rabbit hole type mood today. Let's have a look and see what comes up. I just want 3 cards, and I've grabbed my Starseed deck for you guys as well. Oh, we had a bonus card jump out. I must have wanted 4. All right, so I flip these over. So we have the Ace of Disc, which is a cute little hedgehog. How cute is he? Oh, and I can see Mark saying like about ringing in the ears. This is definitely happening with the upgrades and things. So we're seeing a brand new beginning. This is literally, you know, the hand of God giving us a brand new beginning down here onto the earth realm. We then see the card of Justice, which is in my other deck, also called Adjustment. For me, this is actually my cue from Spirit to lift the veil from 3rd and 4th dimension and usher us into higher realms. So we're literally being told that God is giving us a chance for a new upgrade on earth, but it's our choice whether we choose to kind of step into these higher realms. The other thing that we also have is a Knight of Teacups. So Knight of Teacups for me is more sort of like connected to do with bringing things back from this other realm. It's connected to do with our intuition and really kind of feeling into things. So it might be that you want to share it with people. We also have the Pair, which is cute too. So this one is, I'm just remembering which is the Pair in this. I think it might be like the Lovers version of it. So I do feel that we are being reconnected back to like creator energy a lot more at this time, which is probably why we see darkness actually trying to come in and corrupt and things. So let's have a look and see. Oh, that is a great question as well, Debs, like on the moon landings and things too. That would be interesting to see. And I have done a bit of a remote view on that before. So Spirit wants you guys to also focus on, with this full moon, abundance and freedom. Now we could have an abundance of freedom. We could use these two together. That'd be really good. Let's see what it says. I'll read this to you in a second. Oh, I can read it this way. So abundance, when your heart's intention is to serve humanity, doors of abundance open naturally. So we may also, you know, start to experience more abundance. And remember, abundance isn't just about, you know, financial or monetarily. It's also like we have such an abundant, beautiful audience and such a gorgeous heart energy coming together like this. And I see this every week when we're here. So I thank you guys for that. And we have freedom. So follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and freedom to grow. And I think that's what we're going to be doing every week. So if you guys do have ideas for shows and things, I would love to like get your input. And I'm going to keep listening to Spirit and see like where Spirit is taking us. But I always love, you know, hearing from you guys and what you would like to look into as well. And I love doing like psychic research and tapping into things. It is so much fun. I have worked many, many moons ago as a psychic researcher for a school of natural medicine and vibrational healing. So I do have a bit of a background in that too. Let me just thank you. I really appreciate that. So I'm just going to pop up our little reminders, and I'm enjoyed spending my Saturday and your Friday night together. So let me just remind you guys, for those of you that want one-on-one bookings, and you know, I use that same sort of technique where we go in and psychically look into situations and things, especially if you guys are looking for an oracle booking with me. We look deeply into your questions, and it can be things on a mental, emotional, physical, spiritual level. I love looking into starseed origins. So if you're really feeling that you want to find out more about like your galactic soul origins, why you're here, your mission, and some of you guys have been wanting activations, because it does come through sometimes with starseed readings where spirit will, speak light language, want to do activations and things. So we work in that way. But some people are also wanting to specifically book a session around an activation. So I'm happy to do that too. Just let me know like in your session. But yeah, the oracle readings have been really popular lately. So they've been a lot of fun to do. So all caps Beyond Mystic for your 10% off code. Head on over to consultations.beyondmystic.net. And I also just want to remind you guys, please jump on over and like, share, and subscribe over on Beyond Mystic 003. And if you're on Rumble, it's so lovely to see you over on Rumble as well. And yeah, I've had such a fun Saturday afternoon / Friday night with you guys. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, definitely. And you guys can record the session as well. I really always try and pack just as much in to a session that we can fit literally within the hour. Now, remembering I did used to do some sessions that were 2 hours, but it is a lot of energy to hold. So yeah, 1 hour, you guys get so much information in that. It really is value packed. But I love you all, and thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Maybe pop some comments in here or hit me up on social media. I am on Facebook and Instagram. If you do have some topic ideas, I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you.